addressing my daddy issues. So this weekend, sorry about the noise. This weekend, like every other weekend, I had therapy. Um, Prior to this session, my last session, my therapist and I decided that we were going to tackle some of my daddy issues. We tackled a lot of my mommy issues, so now it's my dad's turn. Um, so I was explaining to her how like a week ago I had this big blow up with my dad, and I felt really bad a couple of days after. Like I felt bad because I just feel like we get down on this man so much, but excuse me, we get down on him so much, and I'm not saying that he's an innocent party, but it just has to hurt, you know. And while in the moment when I'm yelling, when I'm screaming, when I'm being this horrible person, my goal is to intentionally hurt whoever the target is. I do feel bad for him because I feel like he gets this from everybody. And I also did feel bad a couple of days later because I felt like I was reverting to, I was taking a step back from everything that I've learned in therapy. Like, I'm trying to deal with my anxiety, I'm trying to deal with my emotions. And having these blow ups or like getting angry and upset and it lasts for a couple of days when it only affects him for a couple of hours, it's just like it takes a huge toll on me, you know. So in therapy we were addressing the issues, and like going into therapy, like just when we were talking about it, like when I brought it up, I kind of felt tears, but I refused to let them drop or whatever. So like I felt like a lot of emotions as we were talking about it, and she was just like trying to get me to figure out like where all of this stems from. I have this big thing where I was a daddy's girl way back when, and now I'm just like I have a total dislike, virgin. It may even be a hatred for him because I feel like he failed me at what is promised to me. Like every little girl is supposed to love her dad. I'm supposed to model the man that she marries after her dad. But this image of him that I have now, like I can't. I would kill my husband if he were like my dad now. It's just like I don't know that I can ever say. No, I probably can. Like when I was a daddy girl, he was my hero. He was like the image of a man before I understood what the image of a man was. Like, I was always happy to see him. Now it's just like I kind of dread it, and I realized I kind of dread it for several different reasons. I dread it because he's not who he used to be. He's not the fun-loving guy who I grew to learn and who I grew to love as a adolescence, as a teen, like as an adult. It's just like the way that we are verbally abused, the way that we verbally abuse each other, this entire family, it takes a lot out of me. But it's something that I've been in all my life, so I don't know how to separate myself from it. Like, I don't know how to make it better. And when I feel like I do make an attempt, I kind of feel bad when I share that, me trying to make an attempt with my mom or my sister, because it's just like, well, why do you want to do this for him? He's just that and third person, but I'm trying to be the bigger person. It's just a huge clusterfuck, right? So in therapy, we touched on a lot of things. Like my therapist suggested that I feel like my dad got worse in his old age. I'm gonna get back to my therapist. I feel like my dad got worse in his old age, where it comes to like the way he talks to us, the way we talk to him, or whatever. But my therapist made, she pointed out that when we were younger, my mom was the more dominant one, and when it came to like arguing and fighting, it was just between them. But then as we got older and she just got like tired of the foolishness, it dropped down to us. So she was like, my therapist made the assumption or the point or whatever, or pointed out that maybe he was always this person, but you never noticed it because your mom was that in between. It stopped with her and it never got to you guys. But now that she's just taking herself out of it, it's on us. And we don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it. So I react, and my goal, like I said, is to hurt whoever my target is. And if my target is my dad, that is my job. That is my goal. And it takes more out of me than it does him, because for him, it goes in one ear out the other. For me, it's brewing in me for several days. And I feel this, it's like it's a suffocating feeling. Like I feel like my heart tightening. I feel a shortness of breath when I'm angry, and it's so much. But like another reason that the therapy this week, the daddy issue situation, took so much out of me is because I realized two things. I am just like my father. I don't want to be like my father, but I am just like my father. I get angry like him. I have this built up tension just like him. I am just like him in so many ways, and it pisses me off because he is not, like I said, the image of the man that I thought I knew. To me, and I don't know if there is a love there, but the man that I loved was strong. He was powerful in my eyes. This man that we see here now is he's weaker physically. He looks weaker. He is deteriorating before our eyes, and I don't know how to handle that because I don't want it to be a situation where in my old age I am deteriorating. I am this weak person, and it scares me because I know that I'm just like him. I don't want to be that part of him. While I have an awareness that maybe he doesn't have. I don't want that to ever falter because if this is my future, if because I am like him, he is my future, then I am fucking doomed, and that absolutely terrifies me in the worst way. Um, so it's that I also noticed that I am trying to make him see who he is now in order for him to change so that I have a hope for who I'm going to be when I grow older, if that makes any sense to you. But then my third point, the biggest point, which was the second point originally, was that this hatred, this anger, these emotions, these negative emotions that I feel for him, if I lose that, if I forgive him, if I take myself out of that negativity, I will feel nothing for him. And for me, although it drains me, having some sort of feeling towards this man, it it I feel like it makes me a person. The moment that I stop having all feelings, I'm afraid for that moment to happen. It could calm me. It could make me a better person. It could do so much for me. But at this moment, I am afraid of that. Hang on for 1 second. Coming right back. Gotta get the dog. The dog didn't come back. Oh my god, you see my belly? I'm so fat. So, yeah. So like having having expressed that with her, having to fully process all of that, but not like I know what I have to do, but I'm afraid of that change because once that change happens, what comes next? I think I'm afraid of the what comes next part of it. You know what I'm saying? So like it's terrifying, it's scary, and because I don't know how to process that, my mood for yesterday was just shot. I was over everything. I was over life. I wanted to sit alone in the dark and just be there. But it's so hard when there are people around you. But yeah, it's something that I'm working on.